Welcome back! Going for a bike ride! Escaping the police! Living in a cardboard box! Eating hummus! Driving a car! Jesus Christ! Drown your kids in a pool! Hi everybody, welcome back to Sipscity, the jewel of the north. The best place that there ever was and the best place that there ever will be. Holy crap. Man, what a city. We're pretty close to another population milestone. We're back in Green Cities. Of course, once again, sponsored by Paradox Colossal Order to be here. But would probably be here realistically anyway, regardless, because, well, City Skylines is a great game that I've played a lot of. And so far, I'm enjoying the new expansion. I think it adds a lot of pretty cool things to the game. There's just a lot of different options, and I think that's what's nice about their whole expansion model. You know, every once in a while, these expansions come out and they just breathe a bit of life into the game, give you some more options, more stuff to play around with. I like how you can potentially just transform your entire city into a green city and then just go on that basis if you want to. But you don't have to, because there's policies and stuff that make it so that you can keep it as dirty as you want or as clean as you want, which is pretty nice. Anyway, we're back. Last time we did the Epcot Globex zone, which is just down here. It's looking pretty nice. It's like kind of finished. Like this sort of like encapsulated area here is finished. I started off camera working on a new neighborhood, which we can maybe tart up later on in a time lapse or something. This is over here, Nerd Town, which features a whole bunch of high-rise offices and stuff for people to work at. There's like a train station. We went for the green stuff again, so these self-sufficient apartment buildings that are just covered in moss. I don't know what the moss does. I guess maybe it makes the air cleaner and just like things nicer for people or whatever. And that's fine. That's probably fine. We got the Epcot Globex zone here, which is thriving now. It's looking pretty damn good. It's got a couple of high-rises near the highway, which is quite nice. I kind of like that. They're like office buildings. People can work there. We got a couple of high-rise apartments, and then for the most part, it's these little Center Park lodges that people live in, and they have like solar panels to power themselves, and they probably have like those outhouses outside that are no good if there's a hurricane because it'll blow over your outhouse, and it does that thing where like all of your poop ferments and turns into fertilizer, and the whole like ecosystem remains balanced and stuff. Great stuff. Anyway, today we are going to take a look at a couple of other things that Green Cities introduces. Maybe play around with some policies a bit. There's a couple of interesting policies. I mean, the Epcot Globex zone is really like our guinea pig area, right? This is where we're going to like prototype all of these new changes, and if they work, then we can go and roll them out to like other parts of the city, right? Like we got like the Willis suburb, if you like. It's like a kind of like looks a bit like South Central or something, but potentially Willis could be next up to receive some of these changes, go for the Center Park sort of lodges. We can enact some policies whereby people can only use electric cars and stuff like that. I think that'd be pretty cool. We can maybe look at that after. I think for now, though, let's take a look at our power and how much power we're generating. We're currently consuming 760 megawatts of power, and we're producing 1,073 megawatts of power, okay? And this is probably thanks to, well, these garbage incinerators over here are helping. We got these big solar, which is already green, actually, it's got to be said. We got these solar plants here. We got a couple of coal plants here. What's down here? Incinerators again. Is there anything over here? No, it looks like most of our power is concentrated in Stinkerland right now, and a little bit in Smellsville as well. I think we could probably move that out. This industry, I think we're always going to need like a bit of dirty industry, but there's probably some policies that we can enact to make them a little bit cleaner. But I think we want to try to get all of our power to be green. Because I think there's options for that now. We've of course got our hydro dam as well over here, which is probably generating most of the city's power, which is, well, pretty green to begin with. But any like shortfalls that we have, we got these wind farms over here too. We could probably make up for it with some of this stuff, like a geothermal power plant. How much is this going to produce? This is going to produce 80 megawatts. Okay, that's not really going to solve our problems, is it? And then we have the ocean thermal energy conversion plant as well, which is going to output 480 megawatts. This is crazy. The changes in water temperature allow this power plant to generate electricity. Place the plant on the shoreline. That sounds pretty cool. And then you got these solar updraft towers here. The warmth generated by sunlight is what powers this power plant. The warm air goes up, turning the blades of fans that produce electricity. Large batteries within the building allowed to store electricity and not be affected by day and night. That's pretty cool, actually. That's going to produce 240 megawatts. It's going to cost us 90,000 per. But we could potentially just get a bunch of these put in. Probably over here, I'm thinking. Like, I like this whole area over here. Like, because we got the, we've got like the eco sort of sewage pumps. We got the water treatment here as well. Another thing that we probably look at eventually is just replacing these pumps with water treatment. And then that would probably clean up this river entirely, which is good actually. Currently, we're doing 160,000 drip drops a week per eco water treatment plant. I think our water situation is pretty good. Sewage treatment is excellent actually. Water availability could do with some work, but maybe we can look at that after. All right, cool then. Let's expand this road then down to like here. Let's just make sure that all of my snappings are off because I prefer to go no snap. It's just the way that I like to roll, okay? We're gonna have like an area over here for like our power. We're gonna have a road that leads all the way up to here, and then we're just gonna have like this quiet little area back here that's gonna service most of our power needs in the city, I would say. Like, I'd say most. Probably not all, but you never know. We might be able to. I kind of like the idea that you have to come like quite far out of the city to get to all this stuff. Okay. Perfect. All right, let's take a look and see what these bad boys look like when they're placed. Okay, we can place one over here at the edge of the road. Okay, 90,000 is going to generate 240 megawatts of electricity. All right, excellent. Oh, they look pretty cool, actually. Look, I like this. I like the ground and like the walkway and stuff. I think that's awesome. Okay, they need some water connected to them. Interesting. Okay, let's get some water connected up to them then. We've got pipes that can just make their way up like this. We'll just pipe it up here like that, and then all along here, because we're probably gonna have a couple of these things, I would have thought. Okay, cool. So this thing is now operating normally. It's a solar updraft tower, and our electricity availability is all of a sudden through the roof, which is great. Fantastic. Okay, let's place another one of these, okay? We'll place another one of these, and then we could probably get rid of maybe like one of the coal plants or something. Oh, these are fantastic. Holy crap. They're not going to produce any pollution either, which is great. Look at this. Zero pollution. Lots of pollution over here. Let's just ignore the chocolate river for now. Lots of pollution over here too. Okay, so does that mean that we can start dismantling some of the like stinky electrical? God, look at all the traffic and stuff here too. Holy shitballs. Okay, so if we take a look at electricity, our electricity availability is huge right now. We're producing 1,563 megawatts. We're only consuming 695 megawatts, which is nice. So that means we can decommission. What is this actually? This is an oil power plant, and we have another oil power plant here as well. Okay, let's decommission both of these. This is going to save us a little bit as well, because they actually have deliveries for those power plants, right? Like, oil has to be delivered into the city, which is pretty nice. It means that they won't any longer have to deliver the oil into the city, and it should reduce traffic congestion as well. That's pretty good. We need to make sure that this is hooked up to here as well, because we're producing the electricity, but I don't know if it's actually getting fed to the grid. I mean, it could actually be fed to the grid. I'm not sure. So let's just get like a power line here going like that, and then we'll have one coming along here so that it connects up. Perfect. So what's our power situation now? Still really good. Okay, Excellent. And that's just with 2 of those things. That's great. I really want to get that coastal one as well. I think that that's fantastic. Jesus. Okay. Let's get rid of this like lone solar power plant, which is just like chilling over here by itself as well. Because I think we can afford to do that now. I can't believe all of Sipscity was basically powered by 2 oil power plants. That seems crazy, doesn't it? Like, I mean, it's a pretty big place. The population is 46,000 people. In City Skyline terms, that's like not bad, actually. I mean, it's 46,000 people in a city in real life is still a fairly big city, right? But it's not like a huge city. It's probably not as big as this city, I would have thought, but you never know anyway. Okay, so still our availability is excellent. We could probably do with getting rid of some of these other ones, but I'm thinking that a lot of our electricity availability is due to all of these incinerators here, which is probably another thing that we could look at sorting out, or at least reducing. I mean, incinerators pretty good. It's handling all the garbage. It means that we don't have any landfills. But I think that there's new options in green cities as well for, yeah, recycling center. Here we go. Citizens can recycle more different kinds of waste when the city has a recycling center, making less garbage pileup. The center produces small amounts of raw materials from the waste as well. That's pretty good. Processing rate is 48,000 garbages per week. It's going to produce 15 garbage trucks as well. It needs 240 kilowatts of electricity and no water. Okay, it does add a little bit of pollution and a tiny bit of noise pollution. That's why we're going to sort of build it out here somewhere. Probably out in where we've got this stuff. I think this is like a nice area for a recycling center, okay? We're gonna go for the old dirt road approach as well. Kind of like the dirt roads leading off of here. We have a dirt road that comes off here, and this is gonna be where all of the yuppies can come and do all of their recycling and stuff like that. It's gonna be nice. Or even better, we can use this existing maintenance road, right? And then we could just have the yuppies sort of like turn off up here to the recycling center. I think that that might be a little bit better. It'd probably look a little bit nicer too. Okay, so let's go for like a nice curved road here like this. Oh, now that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what the doctor ordered today. Look at this. That is great. Okay, we'll have it curve off like this. Olive way? No, we're gonna call this garbage way. Okay, so that everybody knows that when they want to come and do a little bit of recycling, they just have to hit up garbage way and then they can do it. Okay, so let's put a nice new recycling center right at the edge here, out in the middle of the sticks, which is pretty good. Let's do like some smoothing of the terrain as well, just to like make it look nice, because it looks like just a little bit sort of, I think we could probably do it like this. Like we could probably level it off like here and then just sort of gradually have it level off instead of it looking like there's just like a big cliff behind the recycling center. We don't need a big cliff behind the recycling center. We just need like a nice smooth hill. Bob Ross style. A lot of this series is very, I don't know if I'm as soothing as Bob Ross, but like it is very Bob Ross-esque, isn't it? Like happy little mistakes and just like a couple of happy little city fires. There doesn't seem to be any fires in the city right now on the topic of city fires. Just FYI, by the way, just noticed that there's not a single fire raging in the city today. That's got to be a first, for Christ's sake. Holy shit. All right, so we have this nice recycling center, which is currently operating normally. There is no garbage reserves, but there's 300,000 garbage reserves, apparently, if people want to do that. I guess the trucks go off and get all this stuff. It'd be interesting if people were able to come to the recycling center as well. Because I know, like, locally where I live, there's a big recycling center. You could drive up to it, like, on the weekend if you want to and just, like, dump all your old paint and batteries and, like, all of your old kids' toys that they no longer play with and stuff like that. And it's pretty nice. They got these big bins outside and you just chuck everything in there. And it's really therapeutic, actually, just getting rid of, like, all of your old junk. It's nice. I mean, my kids hate it because I throw away all their toys and stuff. But, like, I mean, come on. How many toys do you need? And, like, you don't even play with half of them anyways. So, like, every once in a while, I just like to go up to the recycling center and just chuck them all out. And then now my kids hate me. But that's another story and probably for another time as well. All right, we'll tart it up a little bit. It looks like the first garbage truck has arrived and has deposited 32,560 garbages here. And it's slowly being processed and hopefully being turned over into something that is going to make the city some money. Oh, this is fantastic. Look at this. It's so green over here. It's so nice. Look. There's no pollution, well, except for like all this stuff. I mean, we could try to like fix this up. I think the next tile that we unlock is going to be this one over here, so that I can finally join up this river with this one. And then we can flush all the poop down and out. Yeah, into here, which is already just filled with poop. Kind of unbelievable, actually, but there we go. All right, cool. Well, that took a lot less time than I thought it would. We seem to now have only green power, except for the incinerators. I mean, I wonder if we could just do away with the incinerators altogether and instead go for recycling. I'm not sure. But anyway, maybe we could do that another time as well. The Epcot Globex zone is next up, okay? We're going to take a look at it. We're going to go into policies, okay? And we're going to see what kind of policies we could add to the Epcot Globex zone to make it more green and make it more of a prototype area for the rest of the city to sort of take their cues from and whatever, right? We're gonna have to just like expand this out a little bit so that it actually touches like these roads and stuff too. We got a fire station down here now as well, which is probably helping with the fact that there's no fires currently raging in the city. This is a good thing. Actually, the Epcot Globex zone could probably just expand down into this area here. This should be fine. It means that they have complete control over... Yeah, you know what? Actually, this could maybe be its own zone, and then we could just have all of this be the Epcot Globex zone. Like, when it eventually expands out, right? Which it probably will, realistically, because so far it seems to be really popular. There's a lot of people flocking to the Epcot Globex zone. They want to live here. They want to live green. They want to buy lots of hummus. They want to do yoga every morning before they go to work. And you know what? Why the hell not? Like, that makes sense to me. I want to do all those things as well. I'm just too lazy to do them. But if I lived somewhere that really encouraged it, maybe I would do it. All right, so industrial space planning, probably not something we need to worry about in the Epcot Globex zone. Allow industry to work even more effectively by overlooking a few work safety laws. No, okay, we don't want that. One thing that we would like to have, though, is encourage biking. When this policy is active, most citizens will prefer bicycles over motor vehicles. Okay, we want to cut down on the amount of cars that are being used, okay? So we're going to encourage bike riding in the Epcot Globex zone, okay? That's the way of the future. People on bikes, okay? We can also bike ban on side. This policy bans cycling on sidewalks. Bikes can only use dedicated bike lanes and bike pathways. That's fair enough, okay? But maybe not something we want to enact right now, okay? We're fresh off just encouraging bike riding, okay? And that might mean that people would want to use the sidewalks, okay? Even though there's probably mums pushing like their prams and grannies and stuff walking on the sidewalks and stuff. It's tough. They'll have to deal with it for now. And then once the policy matures a little bit, then we can ban bike riding on sidewalks, okay? Cool. What's this one? Lightning rods. Request tallest buildings to install lightning rods on their roofs to lower the likelihood of them catching fire during a thunderstorm. That's pretty nice, actually. I think we could probably do that. It's going to cost us 1.6 cents per building. Okay, fine. Lightning rods on the tall buildings then. That's going to be good. And maybe we'll get a bit of more electricity into the city that way as well. What's this? VIP area? Any and all shelters in policy area reserved only for citizens living in the policy area. Okay, that's cool. Fast recovery. This is emergency response unit stuff. Combustion engine ban. Only electric cars are allowed in the affected area, except for the residents, businesses, and city service vehicles. Please note that this policy takes some time to have an effect. Citizens with combustion engine vehicles will avoid the policy area, but if they have a destination within the area, they will travel to it. Okay, we are going to definitely ban combustion engines in the Epcot Globex zone, okay? We want this to be as clean as can be. And also, we are going to encourage people to buy electric cars, a personal favorite of mine. I would love an electric car. Okay, great. Electric cars, cool. Do they have places that they can charge up at, or can they just charge up from their own buildings? I don't know. And then there's this other one here, which we're going to use for what the industrial zones, I guess. Industrial buildings need to filter their waste, making them pollute the ground a lot less. That's not a problem in the Epcot Globex zone because we don't actually have any heavy industry here. Just office buildings and stuff, which shouldn't be polluting too much anyway. Taxation-wise, let go of leisure, blah, 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 blah. Tax relief for offices. Set the tax rate lower for office buildings, lowers the tax rate by 2%. I don't know if we need to really worry too much about taxation. And then service-wise, oh, here we go. Okay, recycle plastic. Recycling centers work with plus 20% efficiency, cost 100 recycling center per week. Does that mean that they're just going to recycle more stuff? let's do it anyway. Okay, let's just do it. Educational blimps, no, we don't need to worry about this stuff. School's out. Citizens will prefer working over education, and only a small portion of the eligible citizens will go study in the university. Free public transport? That could be really good, actually. That makes sense inside the Epcot Globex zone. Recreational use. Hell yeah. Okay, like already these people are living La Vida Loca, so let's make them live it even more so. Recycling. Recycling is a big part of slightly reduced garbage accumulation, slightly reduced tax income. Okay, yes, definitely. We're gonna do the recycling. Power usage and water usage shouldn't be a problem in here because they're mostly generating that stuff themselves. We got the NASA stuff so that when they go pee, it filters the pee and turns it into water and stuff, so it's probably fine. And I guess we'll just go for this Parks and Recreation boost as well. Oh my god. So one thing with policies is that if you don't click on the actual look at this, we've enacted this for the entire city, and that's like cost us a lot. Okay, so city planning wise, for the entire city now, we've got this stuff, which is not great. Okay, high-tech housing, encourage biking, lightning rods. So we gotta make sure that it's actually just happening in the Epcot Globex zone. So we want to encourage biking here. We want the lightning rods. We want the combustion engine ban and the electric cars, right? That was what we wanted for sure. Taxation, and then services. We wanted recycling, parks and recreation, education, recreational use and educational use, free public transport as well, and we wanted to also recycle plastic. I don't know if that's going to actually help us here. I think it's going to work more where the recycling center is, right? It's going to increase their efficiency. All right, so that's all for the Epcot Globex zone and not for the whole city. So now actually we're flush again with money, whereas we're at like minus 22,000. All right, so all of these policies are now affecting the Epcot Globex zone, okay? So we should be seeing some like electric cars and stuff with any luck, okay? We're banning all, look at this, it's an electric car, Edison Model 5. What's this little guy here? Another electric car, that's a Jeep. Right, Pierce Walker is clearly breaking the law. We're gonna have to send in the bylaw officers. You need to have, that's a hatchback. That pickup is definitely not electric. This one could be though. Okay, so it looks like people are slowly moving over to electric cars, which is pretty nice. If we take a look at pollution generally in the Epcot Globex zone, it's nil. There's just none. That's incredible, isn't it? Holy shitballs. Okay, we're gonna have to get a cemetery or a crematorium set up over here as well, because I just realized that people are dying and there's nowhere for them to be processed, which is not the best actually. Let's get the crematorium just set up like right along Laurel Boulevard. So if you ever have to incinerate a loved one, Laurel Boulevard is of course the place that you need to go to. Just like tart it up a little bit. That'll keep everybody clean and happy and medicated and stuff like that, and it should be good. So if we take a look now, we can see like what's the land value like around here. Oh, it's pretty nice actually. It gets higher like around here. It looks like this park is paying off. We've got like the pool and the yoga center and stuff. Some of these areas out on the outskirts here, not so much so, but probably will benefit like later on from the land value that's rising in the center here. Man, this is pretty good. Like, as far as prototypes go, I mean, this has been like a pretty big success, I would say. Like, I'm almost tempted to just say, you know what, Willis? Now's your time. We're going to expand Willis out into where Willis needs to be, which is like over here and stuff. We got it all along where we own land and here as well, okay? Maybe not so much the water, just in case, but we like definitely the shoreline and stuff as well, okay? So like the city representative for Willis will have some control over the shoreline and stuff, and also this one little like testicle of like that big dingle-donger there as well, which is pretty nice actually. He's a pretty lucky guy. And then let's make sure that this highway is not like being covered by anyone either, just in case we want to have a policy directly for the highway to say like, you know what, you don't have to just have an electric car on this highway, it should be fine, sort of thing. Okay, so we'll just like tidy it up a little bit, but actually the on-ramps and stuff can be owned by the Epcot Globex. You know what? Epcot Globex can also have its own little sort of like testicle rung of this dingle donger too. Okay, so Willis is covering everything Willis needs to. quite a big suburb. It's like a huge neighborhood. It's probably the biggest neighborhood in all of Sipscity. And we're gonna go in and we're gonna enforce some policies on this as well. I mean, Sipscity could potentially just be 100% green after all this is done, which is pretty nice. Okay, so we got a district policy for Willis. Schools out. So this was, we wanted to make sure that Willis stayed working class, right? Okay, so they don't prefer going to school. They're gonna go out and work at all like the dirty industry jobs and stuff, which is fine. I think that that's pretty good. Okay, we want to make sure that combustion engines and electric cars are used in Willis for sure, okay? We're definitely going to do that. Let's also get some lightning rods installed as well if we can afford it. And let's encourage biking as well. I think that'll be pretty good. And then service-wise, let's do some recycling in Willis. Let's get the parks and recreation boost. And let's get recreational use going as well. I don't know if we'll do free public transport in Willis though, because we still need to make some money from our public transport, right? Like, it's going to be kind of important. Okay, cool. Do we want to make it so that it's just like green as well? Like, do we want like the sort of, yeah, you know what? I think let's go for it. Let's go for it. Okay, we're going to go for residential specializations, and we're going to make these all self-sufficient buildings here as well. Just like in Epcot Globex. And look at this. Change is afoot in the neighborhood of Willis right now as we speak. Things are transforming. All of the people that live in Willis, they're hard workers. They're down in the mines every single day. And you know what? They're getting home from those mine jobs and working in the box factory and manufacturing staples and stuff. And they're saying, you know what? I need solar panels. I got to start generating my own stuff. I think that's going to be great. And you know what? Fuck the city treasury as well. Who needs it? Now we're like in the hole big time. We're gonna have to make up some money. Hopefully, like, these guys, once they start rebuilding their houses and stuff, will make the money back. It might be, we might have some teething problems, but you know what? I think overall, this is gonna be good. We've tested out the prototype in Epcot Globex, and now people are slowly coming around to the idea that they don't want to live in Sipscity anymore, and en masse they're moving out. But we might be able to attract some better caliber people. And so look, all of the houses are just disappearing. Like, nobody is enjoying this at all. I don't think Willis was ready for this big change. Oh no. Oh no. Come on, Willis. Pull it together, baby. I have no demand currently for residential, which could be a bit of a problem as well. Maybe that's just because everybody is so, you know what? We might have to reverse these policies. This has just been like such a disaster. Ah, jeez. Okay, you know what? While that's happening, let's do like a little bit more in Nerd Town over here. We'll expand it out a little bit. We'll make some more like commercial buildings, some more industrial buildings for these people in Willis to actually work at, and maybe it'll have the reverse effect, and Willis will build up again, and we'll make some money. We can afford to lose some money just for now, but we'll have to keep an eye on it. Okay, well, anyway, we'll head into a time lapse. We'll build up Nerd Town, and we'll be back, and we'll take a look at Willis and see if it's been affected in any way, okay? So I'll see you in a second. right, and we're back. Oh, geez. Well, we've gussied up Nerd Town in between trying to resolve the Willis situation. Oh my god. It's slowly correcting itself. It's not as bad as it was, and it's just getting better as well. We lost a lot of population, though. We also lost a lot of money correcting it, but it should be fine. Anyway, we'll go check on Willis in about 2 seconds. Nerd Town is looking pretty nice. Of course, in Sipscity fashion and Sipsville and all of the Sips cities that we've made in the past. This is going to serve as a hub for all of like the nerds to come and do some quick maths. 2 plus 2 is 4, and so on. Do some number crunching, work as accountants, just get their nerd on in a major way. We made a whole bunch of office buildings for them to work in. There's a couple of residences dotted around here as well. There's a nice big train station so that they can get here instead of driving, hopefully reduce the traffic and also keep the city green. Very important as well. I placed trees all over to make it look really nice, and it's looking good. We'll continue to expand it down into this area, but it's looking pretty good. I think it complements the Epcot Globex zone quite well too, and I would have thought that probably people that live here would be more likely to work over here rather than anywhere else. Anyway, Willis has been decimated, but is slowly rebuilding. Look, we got a couple of people that are moving back in. We've had to send the flyers far and wide across the kingdom of Narnia to sort of beckon back the people who used to live in Willis, who all decided to have like a gigantic Watt-style protest, left en masse because they did not want to have self-sufficient Center Parks lodges. They also did not want to ride their bikes. They weren't happy about electric cars either. It's a working class neighborhood, and in retrospect, maybe turning a working class neighborhood all in one fell swoop into like the world's biggest hippie commune maybe wasn't the best idea, okay? Like I said, we lost a lot of money, we lost a lot of population, but we're slowly building it all back up. And it's actually, in a way, we've kind of resolved a couple of other issues because there's such a massive demand for commercial right now. Bon Jovi Way has expanded slightly into Smellsville. Smellsville may get to a point where it is no longer the smelliest ville in all of the town. We might actually be able to reclaim this industrial area and turn it into just like a big commercial district, which would be nice. It would look nice. It's right on the waterfront, less pollution, all that good stuff. And then Stinkerland could then become like the sort of industrial hub. Lots of abandoned buildings because of everybody leaving Willis. All people that used to work at the box factories and the cigar factories and the pancake rolling factories and stuff like that. But they're all coming back, and some of these businesses are starting to sort of rebuild themselves and get the workers that they need to work in them. So that's good. So we'll probably, like off camera, just let the simulation run a bit, let Willis rebuild itself back up to its former glory, and then slowly expand out Nerd Town and maybe think about getting Smellsville cleaned up next episode. Maybe get some filters on industry, get rid of all of this traffic and stuff, maybe get like some nice big high rises along the waterfront here. I guess like the last time I built Smellsville, I was using mods and stuff to get like the nice looking siding and everything. We could probably do, now that it's built into the game, we can get this sort of stuff built along the side here and get some high rise and stuff. And I think that would look really nice. So maybe that could be like a job for next time. But for now, we're probably out of time. In fact, I think this is probably going to be a longer episode than usual. But we did a lot of stuff with the policies. We added the recycling center, which we should probably look at right now. See if it's polluting. It is polluting. There's lots of garbage being taken here. Actually, the reserves, we got more garbage than we can actually process right now in the recycling center, which is good. It's nice that everybody's bringing their old plastic and stuff like that to be recycled. And of course, we've got these thermal heat super tower things, which are giving us more electricity than we actually need, which is nice. So currently, I think our electricity production footprint, in terms of like emissions and stuff like that, is probably nil. which makes Sipscity probably the greenest city going. And it didn't really take much to get to that point. Still a lot to do, though. Still a lot to clean up. Still a lot to expand. There's lots of stuff left to do in Sipscity, but I think, and I hope that you'll agree, it's looking pretty fantastic. I really like this new expansion here. I really like the Epcot Globex zone. I think it's done a pretty good job of being a guinea pig for other neighborhoods. Willis will probably have to stay a predominantly working class neighborhood, which is fine. We could just about handle that, and then maybe we can look at possibly RS Lake residences becoming self-sufficient. This is, of course, like in and around the university and the hospital for Sipscity. So maybe a smaller neighborhood like this would be better to transform rather than the biggest neighborhood in the city, arguably. I mean, this is a gigantic neighborhood. But there we go. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Green Cities, Sipscity. I hope you're enjoying this series. I think in terms of the sponsorship deal with Paradox, they wanted me to do like a handful of videos, but I am getting the itch for City Skylines, so this could just be a longer series. I mean, I would love to make Sipscity even bigger. We're kind of running out of space, actually. I've almost used all the tiles that I have. I would love to get to that next unlock. I would love to get an airport and stuff, finish off the Gonzo district, just keep sort of expanding out and making it work better. But man, it is looking great. Holy crap. I love just looking at like the sort of EastEnders view of the city, looking at the highway that just like runs right through it, all the dingle-dongers and stuff. And yeah, I think we'll come back and do some more faux show. All right, well, as usual, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time!